Okay, those cell phone things, you know, go away. I will give you a break. And so, okay, the last several lectures we've been building a kind of scaffolding about studying, right? Dr. Doncourt's presentation gave you many sort of techniques about studying. You may feel that some of what I say today is a kind of repetition. I hit some concepts you've heard about before, but coming at a slightly different angle for some of them, and also sort of forecasting a couple of things we're going to be dealing with later on in the term, in the semester. So, I do feel that, you know, what you'll be receiving today, trust to be of value. Remember we said earlier that it doesn't matter how much you present, we need help from you. This is a kind of two-way street. The kind of attention you pay is important for finding value in any presentation. So presentations can be very boring if you're not paying attention. Okay. So with that, let's dive right in. So I'm assuming many of you would like to sort of at graduation to have a 4-point GPA or close to a 4-point GPA, stand up there with honors at graduation. That takes strategic planning starting now. The cruel fact is that the more credits you earn, the harder it is to pull up your GPA. I've sat for many years on academic committee where we've had the unfortunate task of dismissing students for low GPA on their second, third year, and we get these pleading letters. You know, I will do better next time. Please let me back. And occasionally we'll give the student another chance. But by your third year, if you have a 2-point GPA, it's very, very difficult to bring it up. Okay? So it's very important that your GPA starts off high, and then it allows you, it's much easier to keep a higher GPA. You understand why?
Yeah.
Yes.
So here are some techniques. Again, some of them will reference things you've already heard, particularly from Dr. Doncourt, but I want to emphasize them again. You don't want to end up like this, right? You may feel like this at times, okay? Having to write an English paper for that very cruel teacher who used to teach English classes here by the name of Dr. McDowell. I don't know him, but apparently he was quite nasty. It is the man. Okay? So first of all, these are habits you should avoid. Okay? The top 10. Okay? Perhaps the best way to success is not doing these 10. You ready?
Yes.
Count down. Number 1, cramming. Okay. Okay. Okay? Staying up late the night before cramming doesn't help. Bad habit. Multitasking. Multitasking is guaranteed to help ruin your brain. Number 3, ready for number 3? Okay, this is controversial. Why do you think this might be a problem? Yeah. Yeah, that. Yes.
I don't like listening to music while I work because I think it just ruins the joy of the music in a way.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
Well, I love listening to music when I study. It helps me lock in.
Yes.
I listen to music while studying and I ace my test.
High school or university?
My last test.
Oh, very good. Wait to
I was a music student.
Yeah,
It
specifically what
depends a
subject?
lot on the type of music you listen to.
What if you're a music teacher?
It also is asking your brain to do more than one thing at a time. Your brain works best if it's doing one thing at a time. So yes, some of these things you can get away with and still come out doing well. But a habit of it will gradually decline your ability. Skipping classes. Skipping classes.
I've done well 6.
Never come to a teacher and say, I won't be in class, or I skipped class because I didn't do anything important. No, of course we did things important. So, never skip class. A students never skip class. Okay. Not making an outline. Outline of how you're going to attack your studies, outlining your work that you're reviewing. Okay. Outline it. Using social media while studying. Do you all understand why this is a problem? Distraction. Distractions. Number 7. Not actively studying. You get with your study group and do what? Okay. Do anything but study.
Order pizza.
Order pizza, yeah.
Listening to music.
Speaking of pizza,
Back here again.
No, don't say don't.
I was just in Edmonton. I had to attend a funeral this morning in Edmonton. And so on the way back, we went to, there's an Italian center in near West Edmonton Mall. I had a very good pizza.
You should try some.
Now, tell me,
What is the
now remind me. Being disorganized. I suppose I shouldn't confess this to you, and I hope Dr. Donker, I suppose you can hear it now, I'm retired, but this is one of my big challenges. I once had a psychiatrist friend many years ago who talking about the state of my desk, which is always a mess, and she wrote, she was a certified psychiatrist, so she wrote me a letter. This is to excuse John McDowell from having a just orderly desk. So I have a psychiatrist letter excusing me. Okay? But organization is very helpful. Not having a study space. What did Dr. Donker tell you about study spaces? Did you study in the same place all the time?
No.
So scout out 3 or 4 places on campus and rotate, use them. Maybe some of you don't know, but on the 3rd floor of West Hall, near my office, is a student lounge. Very few students study there. Number 10! Ouch! Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, confession time. Hands up, who of you suffer from this disease? Place my hands up as well. Yeah. I know your pain. Okay. Yeah. The starting point, of course, is to recognize that you have a problem. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is a tough one. Coming up in a slide that suggests something that may help with this stuff. Okay, so you got the top 10 things of what not to do, right? Okay, ready. You want to be more like this guy, right? Okay, phones away, computers away, please. Computer. Thank you. Okay. So, I'm going to touch on 3 things: attitudes, habits, and strategies. Actually, I'm only going to give you 1 attitude. But it wouldn't make my sentence grammatical if I just had 1. Okay? So I'm going to cover attitudes, habits, and strategies. These 2 are closely related. So if you're outlining, so you've got those 3 headings. Okay, ready for the attitude? Okay, we talked about a growth mindset. technical. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot overemphasize how important it is to believe in yourself. Do you remember me telling you to commit murder?
Yes. Yes.
That voice that says I'm not good enough. Everyone in this class is smarter than I am. I went through much of my college career with the sense that my roommate was much smarter than I was. My friends are much smarter than I was. They all went to medical school. Okay? So this voice, terrible voice, in your head. In fact, it wasn't until I started my PhD program that I began to realize that maybe I could do this. Don't go with that handicap. Remember, you're created in whose image? God. Believe it. Okay? Believe it. Very important, your attitude. Dedication and hard work. Getting straight A's is not easy. Okay? But you have to have it as a goal. Okay? A challenge is a time for growth. Just write challenge and growth. Okay, good? Okay. Some habits. Time management. Good time management helps with that procrastination disease we have. Some of us have. Part of that time management is prioritize. What's the most important thing I need to do? All of you know now when your assignments are due, right? Make a schedule. When that paper's due. When that test is coming. Okay? Plot it out on a calendar. And prioritize. Scheduling. That's what I'm talking about. There's if you like various apps, there's a bunch of them out there that are scheduling apps. If that works for you, fine. If it doesn't, and you have another method that works for you, good. Okay. So study time, classes, and other extracurricular activities. Okay. The other things you are involved in, whether it's campus ministries, there seems to be a bunch of clubs on campus. Okay. These are all important and good. Some of you are in sports teams. But think through carefully what's the most important. I've had students, and I believe Dr. Donker has students, who've, because of pressures of being on a team that prioritized winning a game or going to a game over graduating. Prioritize sports over grades. It doesn't help them in the long term. Short term, yes, lots of reward. Okay? Much more fun. Okay? Playing on a team. But if that is getting in the way of your grades, think about what you should be doing. The point here, ladies and gentlemen, is that there are lots of good things. Okay? You have to choose between good things. Sports, social life, your religious life, religious activities. Okay? These are all good. But for yourself, make it very clear what's most important and why. Okay? Think about it. You are created in the image of God. If you don't use your brain that God has given you, that's what? Dishonoring? Okay. Studying is a religious activity. Do you understand why? Are we clear? This is hard to choose between goods. If everything is good, I want to do them all. Because they're good. You have to make choices that fit your study style, your learning style, what your ultimate goal is. Okay? Prioritize. Schedule. One down. I have to take my own advice here, sorry. Okay? I find this helps. I avoid some big things because it seems so big. I'll get to that later. Break it down to smaller tasks. Okay, got the 3 points under this. Okay. And some study habits. Now, Dr. Domcook covered some very important stuff on study habits. So this is just a brief, reference to that. I'm not going to try and copy his very good presentation, but just some very quick. Remember, routine, study routine. Okay. You know this already. Okay? Remember, use the methods that Dr. Domker outlined. We talked about spaced repetition, and I'm going to come to this in a moment. You'll remember what Dr. Donker told you, right? You have those notes. So under time management, 3 points. Under study habits, 3 points. Dr. Donker also talked about your study environment. So we good here? Okay, this is repetition, right?
Yeah.
How many of you are in study sessions with others? All of you have a study partners yet? Good idea to have a study group. So one of the best ways to learn is to explain it to somebody else. So having a study group is, so how do you structure it? Okay? It's a biology study group. Tackle the hardest stuff first. Divide up the tasks with the group. The hard stuff, do that first. Take a break. This is my favorite part. Take a break. So you have the 3 steps. Hard stuff first. Okay? First 20 minutes. Do the hard stuff. Okay? The rest of the, say, 40 minutes. About an hour, hour and a half, don't make it much longer than that. Review the sort of easier stuff. Then take a break. In that break, get some fresh air and exercise. And repeat. All good here? Anybody still needing this? Okay. Some active learning habits. Go to class. Okay. Engage in class. Can you be in class and not in class at the same time?
Yes.
Okay? You can physically be in class, but mentally you're where? Somewhere else. Okay? You're not ready in class then. Okay? Class. Okay? Couple people sleeping already in this class. Okay? Not here. Okay? One of the things my son learned going through his physics degree, which helped him a lot, was to ask questions. He always came to class, physics class, and had questions for the professor if he didn't understand something. We're not as intimidating as you think. We want you to ask questions. If not in class, office hours. Come by, make an appointment. Go see your professor. Ask questions so that you understand. Okay, you got some stuff on note-taking. You're doing this, you're practicing that, so obviously taking notes is good. I'm going to come to this in a later slide, so I'm not going to spend time here now on this point. I'll show you a short video on how to do this very effectively. I wish I had known it. Okay. Staying organized, yeah. We've talked about this already. Use a planner. Paper, electronic, a planner that works for you. So that you know when things are due. You can plan your study sessions. When your assignments and deadlines for papers and lab reports. Okay. I want to show you this short video. It's not terribly long, and then we'll have a break right after, okay? This is an interesting technique. It's called the, well, you'll see.
The 730 trick. How to 90% what you read or learn. Have you ever finished reading or learning something only to forget half of it the next day? You're not alone. Memory fades fast. But what if there were a simple technique to keep it all locked in? Meet the powerful 2730 trick, your ultimate memory secret.
So the 2730
method works like magic by aligning it perfectly with the way your brain naturally processes and stores information. Let's dive into how you can hack your memory and retain up to 90% of what you read or learned forever. The A2730 trick is a 3-step system that uses strategic timed reviews to boost memory retention. The idea is simple. Review what you've learned after 2 hours, revisit it after 7 days, and finally reinforce it on the 30th day. Why does this work? Your brain thrives on repetition and well-spaced intervals. This trick taps into the spacing effect, a proven principle that improves how effectively we recall and retain information over time. Right after you've finished reading or learning, your brain holds the information in fragile, short-term memory. If you don't reinforce it quickly, half of it could vanish within hours. That's why the first review, just 2 hours later, is absolutely critical. In this review session, focus on summarizing key ideas in your own words. Jot down main points, draw diagrams, or highlight vital sections. This step cements the material into your mind, giving your memory a much-needed boost. By the 7th day, the memory starts to blur unless put to work. That's where the second review comes in. This step is about engaging with the material deeply, shifting it from short-term to long-term memory. Quiz yourself, explain the concepts out loud, or teach someone else what you've learned. Testing your knowledge forces your brain to actively recall the information, strengthening those neural pathways even more. After the 30th day, your learning should feel solid, but only if you've revisited it. At this stage, the final review locks your understanding into long-term memory. No more forgetting what you worked so hard to learn. Use this time to analyze how far you've come. Skim your notes, revisit examples, or create a mind map of the topic. Connecting the dots helps reinforce both retention and confidence in your knowledge. The 2730 technique taps into neuroscience, leveraging how your memory functions best. Studies show spaced repetition helps the brain retain information by reactivating it at intervals, keeping the forgetting curve at bay. Think of your brain like a muscle. Just as consistent exercise strengthens your body, these spaced reviews strengthen your memory. Over time, recalling new material becomes second nature. Ready to give the 2-7-30 trick a try? Here's how to make it work for you. Schedule your reviews. Add reminders for the 2-hour, 7-day, and 30-day checkpoints. Stay engaged. Avoid passive reading. Engage actively with the material by asking questions or connecting ideas. Use tools wisely. Apps, calendars, and notebooks can help you track your learning journey quickly and easily. Watch out for these pitfalls when practicing the method. Skipping reviews. If you miss a checkpoint, the information starts to fade rapidly. Consistency is key. Overloading sessions. Don't cramp. It's better to stay focused on fewer topics. Passive reviewing. Simply rereading isn't enough. Active recall is what makes this method effective. Over time, the trick becomes more than a memory hack. It's a transformative learning habit. Whether tackling a textbook, mastering a skill, or improving at work, integrating this system helps you grasp concepts faster and retain them longer. Success stories abound. From students acing exams to professionals thriving in their fields, anyone can reap the benefits of this foolproof approach to learning. Start using the 2-7-30 trick today and experience learning that sticks. Empower your brain, overcome the forgetting curve, and take control of your knowledge like never before. Ready to shut the 2-7-30 trick?
Okay, so what's it? 2-7-30. Now recognize with the way the semester is structured, it might not be perfect. Remember Dr. Donker talked about spacing out. Not spacing out, but spacing out repetition. Learning, okay? Revisiting the material, then the principle here is shortly after you've learned it, after class, review. Space of time, keep it consistent, review. A longer space of time, revisit your notes, review. The brain actively builds neural pathways and gets them strong. Okay, 5 minutes. Break. Go get some fresh air. We're going to have a full session on critical thinking. So this is just an introduction to critical thinking. It becomes a very important part of your education. How to analyze and synthesize information. That'll be something you'll need to touch on. So this is just an introduction. University is not about acquiring knowledge and information. University is about how you critically use that information. We live in an age where wherever you are, I can be at a restaurant in Edmonton where I'm having a discussion in the Italian Center while I'm eating my pizza with my wife about a topic. I whip out my cell phone and I type something into Google and we get an answer to the question. Right? We are awash in information, too much information, perhaps. So how do you deal with it? How do you think through things? How do you analyze? How do you know what's true or not? Okay? How do you incorporate it into your life? This is what university is about. Okay? Problem solving. Okay? Many of your classes will be about solving problems. Another skill to develop, of course, is effective communication. The two main types of communication are what? Verbal, speaking. Okay. Writing. How many of you are in Lytton Comp? Okay. Good. Those skills need to be transferable to everything else you do. Lytton Comp is not about writing papers. You can get ChatGPT to write a paper. Lytton Comp is not about writing papers. Lytton Comp is learning how to think about how do you express your thoughts clearly and effectively. It's not about essays. And the other one, oh, let's get this up here. Writing, oral communication. We do offer a speech class on campus. If you can, I would suggest taking it. Not from me. I'm going to be teaching it this semester, but take it from somebody else. Being able to speak confidently in public is an important skill, whatever your profession. Were any of you at her lecture last night? You were there. Effective communication, right? With the nurse? And a nurse from Saskatoon who spent 2 tours of duty in southern Gaza. Last one earlier this year. Imagine speaking about that, communicating that. Did you find her speech effective? Good stuff. Okay. Presentation skills. Doing that well. Those of you in your Saruk leadership program, as a leader, you're going to have to do this a lot. Okay, good here. Let's move on. Use resources. Okay? Berman offers a lot of resources to help you. First and foremost, get to know your professor. Particularly the professor in your major area. Get to know them. Because likely you will need a letter of reference to get into graduate school. Or you will need a letter to get a job. If you've never set foot in your professor's door and got so they get to know you, they can't write an effective letter of reference. Right, Dr. Domker? Dr. Domker's had to write, how many do you write a year, sir? He writes a lot.
Many, yeah.
Get to know your professors. You have that opportunity here at Berman, much more so than at larger universities. Tell you a bit of an unfortunate story. My son was asked to apply to an important school in Great Britain for his graduate work. His professor, his major professor, forgot or didn't bother to write a letter of reference. His application was rejected. I trust that no professor at Berlin does that. Get to know your professor. Collaborative study groups, we've covered this. Academic resources. Make use of the library or other libraries. There's one downtown. The librarians at in Berman's library are there to help you. Make them work for you. Part of their job. So called a success center. It's called a success center for a reason. Okay? Tutoring, or better yet, become a tutor. If you're a tutor, you learn the material. And there's lots of online resources. Okay, goal setting and motivation. We've covered some of this already. This is a reminder. We've talked a lot about setting a goal. Have a goal. What's your goal? Okay. Of course, staying motivated. This part should have been under attitudes. Very important habit is self-assessment. How well do you know yourself? Here are my two favorite words. If you care about something, the more likely you're going to learn it. Passion. You're privileged to learn. Okay? Enjoy it. But now, by now it should be obvious. It's pretty obvious that I'd like this word, right? You know this already, right?
Fashion.
Cultivate a genuine interest in you. I love the arts. As you know, I'm a practicing artist, writer, but I love the sciences. Some of my best friends have been in biology or the sciences. Fascinating, so much stuff. Have you been in the Science Center in the atrium? There's those three big paintings. Okay. Those are mine. Response to science. Okay. Read the plaque. I don't know if the plaque's up that describes them. Okay. Integrating science and art. My passions. Okay, curiosity, we've got this, and I want to get to this one. Healthy lifestyle. Talking about science, we now know more than ever that everything in our bodies is interconnected. Everything you do affects everything else. Okay. The mind-gut connection is well researched now. So a healthy lifestyle impacts how well you do as a person or student. So what are the factors? You know them already. Okay? Nutrition. A steady diet of pizza that I love is not good for me. Okay? Neither are late night runs for chicken wings. Eat the rainbow. There's a pot of gold at the end. That pot of gold is you. Exercise. Yeah. See if I can break things here. What's the recommended minutes of exercise science says you should have every week?
5 hours.
How many minutes? 150. Minimum. Okay, sleep. Okay. Just recently, science has discovered some curious things about sleep. I'm going to do a little bit of a detour dive into why this is important. Because as a college student, I was editor of the newspaper, and we'd stay up all night to get the paper out. Editor of the yearbook, stay up all night to get the yearbook done. Okay. Stay up all night to study. Not good. Okay. This is from a recent article, and there's lots of research, so if you don't want to believe me, research it yourself. Okay? there's a drainage system they figured out just recently in the last year or so that cleans toxins while you sleep. Okay? Here's a reference here. So you hope you know I'm not making this up. Okay? Quickly. And this is quotes from this article. Your brain becomes a great washing machine, flushing out deadly toxins through a sophisticated drainage network that they've sort of recently discovered in the last year or two. It's called, whoa, what happened? Lymphatic network. You know about this, Dr. Donker? Dr. Donker knows all of this stuff. I should have told me years ago, sir. So what is the... Now, the question is, how do you make this lymphatic system work? And what hinders it? Because you want it to work. Okay. The single most important factor determining whether you maintain cognitive function well into your 90s. And it starts now while you're a student. So what you need to do is write down this word and research it. Okay? But timing is important. Okay? And you want this biological pump to work, but it only happens in deep sleep. You all know the sleep cycles, right? Deep sleep. This one. It doesn't just help your brain, it also affects the rest of your body in terms of inflammation, okay, throughout the entire body. In fact, this works 60% more efficiently when you're sleeping than when you're awake. If your sleep is disrupted, you don't have a regular sleep schedule, this stops and toxins accumulate. And it becomes harder and harder to flush them out. Okay. Now, it's not just flushing your brain, there's a reverse process. Toxins out, good nutrients in. Feed your brain. Okay, I'm going to ask Dr. Donker a question. Okay? What percentage, Dr. Donker, does your brain occupy of your body? 5%?
The brain size?
No, your brain, in terms of your physical, about 5% of your body?
Very small, yeah.
How much energy percent does your brain use? You didn't know I was going to quiz him today. What?
So you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah. Okay? 5% of your body mass, 20% of your energy your brain uses. Is that what I was told? Is that about right?
About.
About right. Okay, about 20%. Okay? That's why this is important, folks. Take care of your brain. Okay? Threats. Okay, what are the threats to your drainage system? Blue light exposure. Waking up in the night and looking at your phone. No. Okay. Blue light exposure. All of us get far too much blue light exposure. You should turn off all electronics that emit blue light at least about an hour before bedtime. Okay. Chronic sleep debt. Not getting enough sleep. Alcohol, very bad. Alcohol impairs at about 30%. Medications can also interfere. This is a tricky thing because sometimes you need medication. But talk with your doctor about how it might also interfere. Sugar!
Yes, I would.
Sugar! Okay. Too much sugar, too much over-processed foods. Bad nutrients for the brain. I love my chocolate. Just make sure it's 80% or more. Dark. Okay, what helps your brain? We've had the bad things. What are the good things? Okay. Sleep consistency matters more than sleep duration. Okay, somebody tell me, what does sleep consistency mean? What? Consistent time. Go to bed at the same time every day, every night, even on weekends. I used to think weekends was time to catch up on my sleep. Not a good plan. Consistency. Your body likes to be consistent when it goes to sleep. Then you wake up at the consistent time. Temperature. Temperature in your room should be between 18 and 20 degrees. Okay, sleep on your side, not on your back. What's the worst sleep position?
On the stomach.
Stomach. Exercise. Okay. Quick note on exercise. Even moderate exercise increases the lymphatic clearance rates up by 40%. Even moderate exercise doesn't mean you have to pump iron in the gym for 3 hours a day. Get us moderate exercise, even for 10, 15, 20 minutes is better than nothing. Okay. So the bottom line, folks, and I'll make this the last slide. I like to reverse them. But very clever.
Evidence is clear. All these sleep laboratory experiments of efficiency to waste
Okay, you want cognitive resilience, disease resistance, and ultimately, you want to live a good long life. The funeral that I was at this morning, father of my daughter's partner, died at 70. Too young. Okay, so what's the study system? Let's review. The 2, 7, 30. Okay, are you going to be A students? Yes! Go for it.
Yeah,